everyone, welcome to the Dex, your favorite Pokemon trivia and battle strategy show. I'm PokeKel.
And I'm Fun Old Man Alex. What?
Is that the worst one? Is that the worst trainer class? Is that from Coliseum? I bet it's from Coliseum.
Fun Old Man? It's not the worst. It's a fun old man. He's an old guy that's enjoyable to be around. A kind old soul. Don't choose to make it weird.
Oh, whoa. You're right. Consider me humbled. And you know what? It is the perfect trainer class for this week's fun old Pokemon.
No, doy, that's why I chose it.
Actually, I wrote this part of the script, so technically I chose it.
Okay, but if you wrote both our parts, then this isn't really a conversation, is it? Oh. It's Drampa!
Alright, Drampa is one of my favorite Pokemon introduced in Sun and Moon. Obviously, its name is a portmanteau of dragon and grandpa, which is maybe the best fusion of two things that I've ever heard of. Props go to designer Hitoshi Ariga, the designer of Drampa, as well as the Grubman line and Minior. Nice pokes, man.
Drampa are known as the placid Pokemon, which means peaceful, and every morning they come down from their solitary mountain homes to collect berries. Drampa love to communicate with people, especially children, and anyone who has befriended one can count themselves lucky, as they will protect their friends from harm at all costs.
When a Drampa does get riled up, its dragon breath has enough force to knock down buildings, and it will become enraged if the people it loves are hurt. That's why one of its abilities is Berserk, which raises Drampa's special attack by 1 stage when it gets below half HP from an attack, and so far, Drampa's the only Pokemon with Berserk as an ability.
If you're looking to add one to your team, Drampa are only found in the caves of Mount Lanakila, the highest and coldest mountain in the Alola region. But it's also a version exclusive, so you'll only find one if you're playing Pokemon Moon, and just in case you're wondering, because I know you are, its counterpart in Pokemon Sun is Turtonator.
Right, so I know you're all probably wondering what the story is behind Drampa's design, right?
I was actually wondering how you got so cool, Kels.
What? That's so nice of you, Alex.
But is it a real compliment if you wrote it?
Just give me this.
You got it.
So Drampa, though it's got some crazy origins, man, get ready to hear about it, think about it, learn about it. Pokemon starts right now.
Wait, wait. Are my thoughts my own? What is reality and what is the illusion?
In Chinese mythology, dragons are symbols of power, strength, and good luck. They are traditionally depicted as serpentine with rectangular heads and round, wide eyes. We can safely assume that's where Dramps gets his looks, but it definitely goes deeper than that.
Enter Chinese solar deity Chulong, an enormous dragon that, like Drampa, lives alone atop a mountain. Also like Drampa, Chulong has a large serpentine body and the head of an old man. Surprise! I bet you didn't think it'd be that on the nose.
When translated, Chulong means torch dragon, though it was also referred to as illuminating darkness and torch shadow. This was because Chulong was said to be responsible for the cycle of day and night. Oh, and by the way, in case you're still not clear on this, every single Pokemon in Sun and Moon has some motif relating it back to this Sun-Moon-Earth relationship. The motif is everywhere.
The Shanghai Jing records from 3rd century BCE describe Chulong like this. When this deity's eyes look out, there is daylight, and when he shuts his eyes, there is night. When he blows, it is winter, and when he calls out, it is summer. He neither drinks, nor eats, nor breathes. If this god does breathe, there are gales. His body is 1,000 leagues long. It was even believed that the Aurora Borealis in the north was Chulong's body flying across the sky.
A lot of the details about Chulong are reflected in Drampa too. Its round eyes might not look like the sun all the time, but when it attacks, its eyes glow with light. Chulong was also said to have no legs, and even though Drampa does have arms and legs, they're concealed by fluffy white fur that's meant to look like clouds.
Yeah, and even Drampa's hidden ability Cloud 9 references Chulong's weather controlling abilities. It's one of China's most famous dragons of legend, and it's cool to see it paid homage in the Pokemon games. In a way, it kinda helps to keep the folktales alive in an accessible format for youngsters, and I'm all for that.
That was really cool. Even though it's super famous, I'd never even heard about Chulong before researching Drampa.
I didn't know about it until I started reading the lines in front of me.
All right, I'm getting sick of my own bit now.
I'm enjoying it, fully and totally having fun of my own free will.
Why don't you take the reins and tell us a little bit about Drampa's ability to kick some butt?
For real, I can take over?
Yeah, VGC 2017 Battle Strat starts right now.
Alex is the best! Sure, Drampa's seen a drop in usage since we all got over his cool design, and while he does pick up a fighting type weakness with his normal typing, his stats are pretty dang solid, and with a neat hidden ability like Cloud 9, which can stop ever popular weather teams in their tracks, he can be a nice addition to a Trick Room team with 0 speed IVs or investment. Start with a quiet one, and EV traded in HP and special attack, with a little bit in defense for good luck.
Essentially, Cloud9 turns off the weather, and your opponent's probably not going to see it coming. And while they're scrambling to adjust, it's gonna be your job to hit them with all kinds of nice strong moves, with lots of good type coverage. So for maximum impact, give Drampa a life orb to hold.
The big stab move to beat here, of course, especially with Drampa's base 135 special attack stat, is Draco Meteor, and there aren't many Pokemon out there who can take one of these in their chest without feeling it afterwards. Just try and use it to get the knockout whenever you can though, since the hits your stats take can render you pretty weak pretty fast.
For coverage, we think your best bets are probably Fire Blast, which handles a lot of stuff, but especially Kartana, who is a particularly scary threat. And Energy Ball, which capitalizes on Drampa's abysmal speed to take care of some most common rock, water, and ground types in the meta.
And last but not least, the almost omnipresent Protect. Like it or not, Drampa's a huge target and he's gonna take a hit or two. Stretch your staying power and wait out those pesky tailwinds and terrains by peppering one in whenever your psychic battle powers tell you it's time.
If you follow these guidelines, this could be a very serious Drampa indeed, but of course, that's not the only way to train a Drampa. So as always, here are a few random thoughts.
Drampa also has access to the ability Berserk, which raises his special attack one stage whenever an attack takes his HP below half. This is a pretty solid choice too, especially if you're looking for more of a late game sweeper than a means of controlling the weather.
Drampa is also one of the few Pokemon who can really put a stab Hyper Voice to good use, which is great because not only does it hit both opponents, it's also a sound-based move, which means that it goes around substitutes.
Some people will tell you to use Flamethrower over Fire Blast because it's almost as effective and much less of a risk with its 100% accuracy, but you know what? I leave it up to you. Risk versus reward is a huge aspect of the competitive Pokemon experience, and there are definitely benefits to both, and I figured I might as well mention it either way.
And finally, as an alternate coverage move, maybe think about using Thunderbolt. Tapu Koko's super popular these days, and if you're not running one, it doesn't necessarily mean your opponent is it, so look alive out there and be prepared.
And that's Drampa. Who cares about free will when the episode's on someone so cool anyway?
That's the spirit, and if by chance I am in control of all reality, then I command you all to visit the link in our description to buy a sick new Dex tee from theyeti.com/thedex. And while you're down there, why not check out the official Dex Discord too, where not only is there something for every Pokemon fan, but we also host tournaments and streams there too.
For more trivia and strategy about your favorite Pokemon, click one of these weird end card thingies, and if you got a second, why not take the time to acknowledge all our awesome Patreon patrons who not only support us financially, but also support us biologically by letting us eat the mold off their fur. I'm Fun Old Man Alex.
And I'm Pokekells. Tune in next week for another man-made episode of
The Dex.